Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in a time unlike any other in human history. Never before have we had access to so much information, so many opportunities, and so many ways to connect with people around the world. Yet despite being more connected than ever, many people feel more distracted, anxious, stressed, and emotionally exhausted than ever before. Why? One of the biggest reasons is sitting right in our hands every day, social media. Think about it for a moment. How many times do you reach for your phone without even thinking? How many times do you check notifications, scroll through videos, refresh your feed, or search for the next piece of content? For many people, this has become automatic. It feels normal. It feels harmless. But beneath the surface, something powerful is happening inside the brain. Every like, comment, share, notification, and new piece of content can trigger the release of dopamine, a chemical associated with motivation, reward, and pleasure. Dopamine is not the enemy. In fact, it is essential for human survival and achievement. It motivates us to learn, explore, create, and pursue goals. The challenge begins when our brains become conditioned to seek constant stimulation and instant rewards. Social media platforms are designed to keep our attention. They are built around endless scrolling, unpredictable rewards, and constant novelty. One post makes us laugh. The next surprises us. Another inspires them. There's a notification that someone liked our photo or commented on our post. Our brains learn to anticipate these rewards, and each anticipation creates another urge to check our phones. The problem is that when we constantly consume quick rewards, ordinary activities can begin to feel less exciting. Reading a book requires patience. Learning a skill takes effort. Building a business demands consistency. Developing meaningful relationships requires time and attention. Compared to the instant gratification of social media, these activities may seem slow. Yet, these are the very activities that create lasting fulfillment and success. Many people wake up and immediately check their phones. Before their feet touch the floor, their minds are already flooded with information, opinions, comparisons, advertisements, and distractions. Instead of beginning the day with intention, they begin with reaction. Instead of controlling their focus, they surrender it. Over time, this habit weakens concentration and makes it harder to stay present in important moments. Social media also creates a culture of comparison. Every day, people are exposed to carefully edited highlights of other people's lives. They see vacations, achievements, luxury lifestyles, fitness transformations, and success stories. What they often do not see are the struggles, failures, doubts, sacrifices, and challenges behind those images. Yet the brain compares someone else's highlight reel to its own behind-the-scenes reality. This comparison can quietly damage self-esteem. A person who was content moments earlier suddenly feels inadequate. A person who was grateful becomes dissatisfied. A person who was confident begins questioning their worth. The issue is not that others are succeeding. The issue is that constant exposure to unrealistic standards can distort our perception of reality. Mental health is deeply connected to where we place our attention. What we focus on consistently shapes how we feel. When attention is repeatedly directed toward comparison, negativity, conflict, and unrealistic expectations, emotional well-being can suffer. Research continues to explore the relationship between excessive social media use and increased feelings of anxiety, loneliness, depression, and stress. While social media itself is not the sole cause of these challenges, the way it is used can significantly influence mental and emotional health. Another challenge is the fear of missing out. Many people feel pressure to stay constantly connected because they worry they might miss something important. They check updates repeatedly throughout the day, interrupting work, conversations, family time, and even sleep. Instead of experiencing life fully, they become observers of life through a screen. Sleep is another area heavily affected. Countless individuals spend hours scrolling late into the night. The brain remains stimulated when it should be preparing for rest. Notifications, bright screens, and endless content can delay sleep and reduce its quality. Poor sleep then affects mood, focus, energy, productivity, and emotional resilience the following day. The cycle repeats itself, creating a pattern that gradually impacts overall well-being. Yet despite these challenges, social media is not inherently bad. It is a tool. Like any powerful tool, its impact depends on how it is used. Social media can educate, inspire, connect, and empower. It can help people learn new skills, build communities, spread positive messages, and support important causes. The key is learning to become the master of the tool instead of becoming controlled by it. Imagine using social media with intention rather than habit. Imagine deciding when and why you use it. Imagine following accounts that educate and inspire rather than drain your energy. Imagine spending more time creating than consuming. Imagine reclaiming hours of your day and investing them into your health, relationships, goals, and personal growth. The human mind is incredibly adaptable. Just as it can become conditioned to seek constant digital rewards, it can also be retrained to appreciate deeper and more meaningful experiences. Physical exercise, meaningful conversations, learning, creativity, meditation, gratitude, and pursuing long-term goals all provide forms of reward that contribute to lasting satisfaction and emotional strength. The greatest power you possess is the power of choice. You can choose what captures your attention. You can choose the habits that shape your future. You can choose whether technology serves your purpose or distracts you from it. Every moment you reclaim your focus, you strengthen your ability to live intentionally. Every time you choose presence over distraction, growth over comparison, and purpose over impulse, you take another step toward a healthier mind and a more fulfilling life. Have you ever wondered why it feels so difficult to put your phone down even when you know you should be doing something else? Have you ever picked up your phone for a quick check and suddenly realized that 30 minutes or even an hour has disappeared? This experience is not simply a matter of weak willpower or lack of discipline. It is connected to the way social media platforms interact with one of the most powerful systems in the human brain, the dopamine reward system. Dopamine is often called the feel-good chemical, but its role is much deeper than simply making us feel pleasure. Dopamine is involved in motivation, anticipation, learning, and reward. It drives us to seek experiences that our brains believe will be beneficial or enjoyable. Throughout human history, this system helped people survive. It encouraged them to search for food, build relationships, explore new environments, and pursue opportunities that increase their chances of success. Today, however, technology has learned how to capture this natural system of motivation in ways that previous generations never experienced. Every time you open a social media app, your brain enters an environment designed to keep you engaged. You never know exactly what you are going to see next. It might be an inspiring story, a funny video, exciting news, a message from a friend, or a notification showing that someone liked your post. This unpredictability is incredibly powerful because the brain becomes excited by the possibility of a reward. Think about a slot machine in a casino. People continue pulling the lever because they do not know when the next reward will come. Social media works in a surprisingly similar way. Every swipe, scroll, refresh, and notification creates anticipation. Your brain begins to expect something interesting, entertaining, or rewarding just around the corner. Each unexpected reward triggers a small release of dopamine, encouraging you to keep scrolling. Over time, this process can become a habit that operates almost automatically. You may find yourself checking your phone during meals, while watching television, while studying, during conversations, or even immediately after waking up. The behavior becomes less about conscious choice and more about responding to urges created by repeated patterns of reward and anticipation. What makes this even more challenging is the speed at which these rewards arrive. In the past, many rewards required patience and effort. Learning a skill, building a career, improving fitness, or developing meaningful relationships took time. Today, a burst of entertainment, validation, or novelty can be accessed within seconds. The brain naturally gravitates toward what is quick and easy, especially when it has been conditioned to expect constant stimulation. As a result, many people find it harder to concentrate on tasks that require sustained effort. Reading a book, completing a project, studying for an exam, or working toward a long-term goal may feel less exciting compared to the rapid stream of content available on social media. The brain begins to crave frequent rewards, making slower but more meaningful activities seem less appealing. The challenge is not that dopamine is bad. Dopamine is essential for growth, achievement, and happiness. The issue arises when the brain becomes overly dependent on the constant stream of digital rewards provided by social media. When this happens, attention becomes fragmented, patience decreases, and people may struggle to find satisfaction in everyday experiences. Understanding how social media influences the dopamine system is the first step toward regaining control. When people recognize that many of their digital habits are shaped by powerful psychological mechanisms, they become better equipped to make intentional choices about how they use technology and where they direct their attention. One of the greatest challenges facing people in the modern world is the battle between instant gratification and long-term fulfillment. This battle takes place every day, often without us even realizing it. It influences our decisions, our habits, our productivity, and ultimately the quality of our lives. Social media has become one of the most powerful forces shaping this struggle because it offers immediate rewards that can feel far more attractive than the slower rewards that come from meaningful achievement. Human beings are naturally drawn toward pleasure and comfort. Our brains are designed to seek rewards and avoid discomfort. This instinct helped our ancestors survive by encouraging them to pursue resources, safety, and social connection. However, in today's digital environment, the same instinct is constantly being activated by technology that provides endless streams of entertainment, validation, and stimulation. Think about what happens when you scroll through social media. Within seconds, you can watch a funny video, receive a like on a post, read an interesting story, or discover something new. Each interaction provides a small burst of satisfaction. The reward arrives instantly. There is no waiting period, no significant effort, and no delayed outcome. The brain quickly learns to enjoy these immediate experiences because they require very little investment. Now compare this to the activities that create lasting fulfillment. Building a successful career requires years of dedication. Developing physical fitness demands consistent exercise and healthy habits. Learning a new skill takes patience and repeated practice. Creating strong relationships requires time, trust, communication, and emotional investment. These pursuits do not deliver instant rewards. Their benefits accumulate gradually over weeks, months, and years. This difference is what makes social media so powerful. When the brain becomes accustomed to receiving rewards immediately, it can become less willing to engage in activities that require delayed gratification. A student may struggle to focus on studying because checking social media offers a faster reward. An entrepreneur may find it difficult to stay committed to a long-term project when endless entertainment is available at any moment. A person trying to improve their health may lose motivation because the results of exercise and nutrition take time to appear. The danger is not that people stop caring about their goals. The danger is that their attention becomes divided between what feels good now and what will benefit them later. Every moment spent chasing instant gratification can reduce the energy available for activities that create meaningful progress. Over time, this can lead to frustration. People know what they want, but they struggle to maintain the consistency necessary to achieve it. Another challenge is that instant gratification often provides temporary satisfaction without lasting fulfillment. A person may spend hours scrolling through content and experience moments of entertainment, yet still feel unproductive or dissatisfied afterward. The pleasure is real, but it fades quickly. Long-term fulfillment works differently. It is built through effort, growth, achievement, and purpose. It may require patience, but the rewards are deeper and more enduring. The most successful and emotionally resilient people understand that true fulfillment rarely comes from what is easiest. It comes from investing in activities that challenge them, help them grow, and move them closer to their goals. They learn to tolerate temporary discomfort because they recognize the value of delayed rewards. Instead of constantly seeking immediate pleasure, they focus on creating a future that is worth the effort. Social media itself is not the problem. The real challenge is learning to balance short-term enjoyment with long-term purpose. When people become aware of how instant gratification influences their decisions, they gain the ability to make choices that align with their deeper values and aspirations rather than simply reacting to the next available reward. One of the most powerful psychological effects of social media is its ability to influence how people see themselves. Every day, millions of individuals open their phones and are immediately exposed to images, videos, achievements, lifestyles, and personal stories from people around the world. While this constant access to information can be inspiring, it can also create a cycle of comparison that quietly affects self-esteem and emotional well-being. Human beings have always compared themselves to others. It is a natural part of understanding our place in society. Throughout history, however, these comparisons were usually limited to family members, friends, coworkers, or people within a local community. Today, social media has expanded that comparison circle to include celebrities, influencers, entrepreneurs, athletes, and millions of strangers who share carefully selected moments of their lives online. The challenge is that most social media content represents highlights rather than reality. People naturally post their achievements, successes, celebrations, vacations, promotions, fitness transformations, and happiest moments. Very few people share every setback, failure, disappointment, insecurity, or difficult experience they face. As a result, social media often presents an incomplete picture of reality. When someone scrolls through these polished images and success stories, the brain may begin making comparisons without conscious awareness. A person who is feeling confident about their progress may suddenly feel behind after seeing someone else's accomplishments. Someone who is grateful for their life may start focusing on what they lack after viewing images of luxury lifestyles or seemingly perfect relationships. These comparisons can happen within seconds, yet their emotional impact can last much longer. One of the biggest dangers of comparison is that it shifts attention away from personal growth and toward external validation. Instead of measuring success by individual progress, people begin measuring themselves against others. They may start asking questions such as, why am I not as successful? Why don't I look like that? Why is my life not as exciting? These questions can gradually erode self-confidence and create feelings of inadequacy. Social media can also create unrealistic expectations. Filters, editing tools, carefully staged photos, and curated content can make ordinary lives appear extraordinary. Young people, in particular, may develop unrealistic standards about beauty, success, relationships, or happiness. When real life fails to match these idealized images, disappointment and self-doubt can follow. Another factor affecting self-esteem is the pursuit of approval through likes, comments, shares, and followers. Many people unconsciously begin associating their value with online engagement. A post that receives positive attention can create temporary feelings of validation, while a lack of engagement may trigger disappointment or insecurity. Over time, self-worth can become tied to external reactions rather than internal confidence. This dependency on external validation can be emotionally exhausting. The opinions of strangers become more important than personal values. The desire to gain approval can influence behavior, decisions, and even identity. Instead of asking, what truly matters to me, people may begin asking, what will receive the most attention? This shift can weaken authentic self-expression and increase emotional vulnerability. The truth is that every person has a unique journey, different challenges, and individual circumstances. Comparing your beginning to someone else's middle or comparing your everyday reality to another person's carefully edited highlight reel is rarely fair or accurate. True self-esteem is built through self-respect, personal growth, meaningful achievements, and the recognition of one's own progress. When people learn to focus less on comparison and more on their own development, they regain a sense of control and confidence. They begin appreciating their strengths, acknowledging their progress, and pursuing goals that align with their values rather than chasing unrealistic standards created by social media. In doing so, they protect their mental well-being and develop a healthier relationship with both themselves and the digital world around them. Mental health is one of the most valuable aspects of human well-being. It affects how people think, feel, make decisions, handle stress, build relationships, and navigate life's challenges. In today's digital age, social media has become deeply integrated into daily life, influencing emotions, behaviors, and thought patterns in ways that many people do not fully recognize. While social media offers opportunities for connection, learning, and entertainment, excessive or unhealthy use can have significant effects on mental health and emotional well-being. One of the most common effects of social media is increased anxiety. Many people feel a constant need to stay connected, respond to messages, check notifications, and keep up with the latest trends and updates. The fear of missing out can create a sense of pressure that makes it difficult to relax. Individuals may worry that they are falling behind socially, professionally, or personally if they are not constantly engaged online. This continuous state of alertness can prevent the mind from experiencing periods of true rest and recovery. Social media can also contribute to feelings of loneliness, even though it was originally designed to connect people. Having hundreds or even thousands of online connections does not necessarily create meaningful relationships. A person may spend hours interacting with content, yet still feel disconnected from genuine human interaction. Real connection often comes from face-to-face conversations, shared experiences, emotional support, and authentic communication. When digital interactions replace these deeper forms of connection, feelings of isolation may increase. Depression is another concern that has been associated with problematic social media use. Constant exposure to negative news, criticism, online conflict, and unrealistic portrayals of success can affect mood over time. People may begin to focus more on their perceived shortcomings and less on their strengths and accomplishments. Repeated exposure to idealized lifestyles can create dissatisfaction with one's own circumstances, leading to feelings of sadness, hopelessness, or inadequacy. Another important factor is emotional overload. Social media provides a never-ending stream of information, opinions, images, videos, and updates. The human brain was not designed to process such an enormous volume of information every day. As people scroll through countless posts, they may experience emotional highs and lows within minutes. One moment they see an inspiring story, the next they encounter a tragic event followed by a controversial debate or a stressful news update. This constant emotional switching can leave individuals feeling mentally exhausted. The impact on attention and concentration can also influence mental health. Frequent interruptions from notifications and the habit of constantly checking devices can make it difficult to focus on a single task for an extended period. Over time, this fragmented attention may increase frustration, reduce productivity, and create a sense of being overwhelmed. When people struggle to concentrate, complete important tasks, or manage responsibilities effectively, stress levels often rise. Social media can also amplify negative emotions through online interactions. Harsh comments, cyberbullying, criticism, and social rejection can have powerful psychological effects. Unlike face-to-face interactions, online negativity can spread rapidly and remain visible for long periods. For some individuals, particularly teenagers and young adults, these experiences can significantly affect self-esteem, confidence, and emotional stability. Despite these challenges, social media does not have to be harmful. The impact largely depends on how it is used. When people follow positive content, establish healthy boundaries, limit screen time, and prioritize real-world relationships, social media can become a tool that supports rather than damages mental health. Awareness is essential because once people understand how digital habits influence their emotions and well-being, they gain the power to make choices that protect their mental health and create a healthier, more balanced life. One of the most significant yet often overlooked effects of social media is its impact on focus, attention, and sleep. In a world where information is available every second of the day, maintaining concentration has become increasingly difficult. Many people feel busy all the time, yet they struggle to complete important tasks, remain present in conversations, or achieve the level of productivity they desire. A major reason for this challenge lies in the way social media constantly competes for attention. Attention is one of the most valuable resources a person possesses. Every achievement, skill, relationship, and goal requires focused effort. Whether someone is studying for an exam, building a business, learning a new skill, or spending quality time with loved ones, success depends on the ability to direct attention toward what matters most. Social media platforms, however, are specifically designed to capture and hold attention for as long as possible. Every notification, message, like comment, and content recommendation acts as a signal competing for mental space. Even when people are engaged in important work, a simple notification can interrupt their focus. What seems like a brief distraction often has a larger impact than most realize. Research on attention suggests that after an interruption, it can take considerable time to fully regain concentration. As these interruptions accumulate throughout the day, productivity and mental clarity can suffer. Many individuals have developed the habit of multitasking between social media and other activities. They may study while checking notifications, work while scrolling through content, or watch television while simultaneously browsing online. Although this behavior feels efficient, the brain is not truly performing multiple tasks at once. Instead, it rapidly switches between activities. Each switch consumes mental energy and reduces the quality of attention given to each task. Over time, this habit can weaken the ability to focus deeply and sustain concentration. The effects extend beyond productivity. Constant digital distraction can also affect personal relationships. Imagine sitting with family or friends while repeatedly checking a phone. Even if the interruptions are brief, they send a message that attention is divided. Meaningful conversations require presence, active listening, and genuine engagement. When devices constantly pull attention away from the people around us, opportunities for deeper connection may be lost. Perhaps one of the most serious consequences of excessive social media use is its effect on sleep. Quality sleep is essential for physical health, emotional regulation, memory learning, and overall well-being. Yet many people end their day the same way. They spend much of it scrolling through social media. What begins as a quick check before bed can easily turn into an hour or more of endless content consumption. The brain requires time to transition from activity to rest. Social media often works against this process by providing continuous stimulation. Exciting videos, emotional stories, breaking news, and engaging conversations keep the mind active when it should be winding down. Instead of becoming calm and relaxed, the brain remains alert and engaged. The light emitted from phone screens can also interfere with the body's natural sleep cycle. Exposure to bright screens late at night may reduce the production of melatonin, a hormone that helps regulate sleep. As a result, falling asleep becomes more difficult and sleep quality may decline. Poor sleep creates a chain reaction throughout the next day. People may wake up feeling tired, irritable, and less focused. Their ability to manage stress decreases, their mood becomes less stable, and their energy levels drop. This often leads them to seek more quick distractions and instant gratification, reinforcing the cycle of excessive social media use. When people begin protecting their attention and prioritizing healthy sleep habits, they often experience remarkable improvements in focus, emotional balance, productivity, and overall mental well-being. By reducing unnecessary distractions and creating intentional boundaries around technology, They regain control over one of their most valuable assets, their ability to focus on what truly matters. Ladies and gentlemen, social media is one of the most powerful tools ever created. It has the ability to educate, inspire, connect, and empower people across the world. But like any powerful tool, its impact depends on how we choose to use it. The challenge is not the technology itself. The challenge is maintaining control over our attention, our habits, and our mental well-being in a world designed to compete for them every second of the day. We have seen how social media can influence dopamine, encourage instant gratification, fuel unhealthy comparisons, affect mental health, and disrupt focus and sleep. Yet we have also learned that awareness creates choice. The moment you become aware of how these forces affect your mind, you gain the power to respond differently. You no longer have to be driven by every notification, every impulse, or every distraction. Your attention is one of the most valuable assets you possess. Where your attention goes, your energy follows. Where your energy flows, your life grows. If you consistently invest your attention in meaningful goals, healthy relationships, personal growth, and real life experiences, you will create a future that is rich with purpose and fulfillment. The goal is not to eliminate social media from your life. The goal is to use it consciously rather than compulsively. Use it to learn, to connect, to share value, and to grow, but never allow it to replace the experiences, relationships, and achievements that give life its deepest meaning. Every day presents a choice. You can choose distraction or focus. You can choose comparison or self-improvement. You can choose instant gratification or lasting fulfillment. You can choose to let technology control your habits, or you can take ownership of your mind and your future. The strongest, happiest, and most successful people are not those who avoid challenges. They are those who take responsibility for their choices and remain intentional about how they spend their time and energy. When you learn to master your attention, you begin to master your life. The future of your mental health, your happiness, and your success is not determined by an algorithm. It is determined by the decisions you make every single day. Choose wisely, stay present, protect your mind, and never forget that your greatest power lies in your ability to direct your focus toward the life you truly want to create.